So you wanna play Sorceress, eh? Do you like big damage, big numbers, big explosions, big animations, big freaking meteors falling from the sky, Zeus himself shooting down lightning bolts from the sky to slay your foes, big... No? Well, okay then. Never mind. Thank you all for watching, guys. Nah, just kidding. Let's get into it. Sorceress is a ranged damage dealer that dishes out a tremendous amount of damage and relies on precise positioning and almost frame-perfect skill casting. She also takes just as much damage as she deals, if not more, basically earning her the title of a glass cannon. You do the big dips, but you take the big damage in return. As a Sorceress player, you will be able to enjoy the absolute pleasure of using what is one of the hardest, if not the hardest hitting rotations in the game. That is, if the boss doesn't decide to cha-cha smooth around you and avoid being hit by absolutely everything, forcing you to withdraw into depression after you strategically debussy your keyboard right through your monitor. No kidding, it really sucks. When you do hit your skills though, the feeling is amazing. All the planets align just for you and everything seems to make sense. Divine Punishment, Great Fire, and Doomsday are the bread and butter of every big burst damage rotation that you will be doing. These three skills are all channeling abilities that have a wind-up time and some delay after they were cast before they actually do their damage. They have gorgeous animations and look absolutely stunning, with Doomsday having, in my humble opinion, the best voice line associated to a skill in the game. You can choose a lot of other abilities to use as fillers to help you generate your gauge. Some of my favorites are Rain of Frost, Elemental Fusion, and Ice Arrow. Experiment with all of them and their respective tripods and pick what you enjoy most. Similarly to a lot of other classes in Lost Ark, the Sorceress plays around her identity gauge. Naturally, you cast your skills and upon doing damage, you fill up the identity bar called Mystical Resonance. At 30%, this identity can be activated, which increases elemental damage by 20%, but more importantly, it reduces the cast time of your channeling skills to 1 second, which makes your rotation a lot easier. This is what is known as a damage window in Lost Ark. If, however, you have a full identity bar, before activating it, you also reduce the cooldown of your skills by 25% and gain some extra destruction and stagger effects on certain skills. The first engraving of the Sorceress class enhances the identity state. Heightened Senses increases the cooldown reduction of your skills to 50%, in addition gives up to 25% crit chance and 50% crit damage when at level 3. This, combined with the greatly reduced cast times, allows you to do the big boom, and it sure feels good. The Sorceress has one more way to spend her gathered identity. She has another ability called Teleportation. This is basically a really long blink which consumes a chunk of identity when used. On paper, this does not sound amazing, however, do keep in mind that the Sorceress class is as fragile as my self-esteem, all while not being too mobile, so having an extra movement ability can help a lot. And this ability is the only one you can use if you choose to go with the second engraving called Conscious Dissonance. When using this engraving, the Sorceress can no longer enter the Mystical Resonance state, but the damage of her skills is increased by up to 16% and skill cooldown is reduced by up to 10% at all times. These two playstyles differ quite a lot as they focus on different aspects of the Sorc's kit. The Heightened Senses engraving is for players that really want to min-max their damage by finding the perfect moment to unleash all their damage, align the planets, yell the things, etc. In my opinion, this is the harder playstyle of the two, as even though when you're in your damage window, your cast times are only 1 second, you still rely entirely on the boss standing still and looking at death in the eyes as you try to viciously call forth all the elements to murder it. The Conscious Dissonance playstyle is a lot more relaxed, as you are less gated by a specific time period where you have to get all your damage out. In a way, this is the more spammy, if you can call it that, approach to playing Sorc. You also get the benefit of using your gauge exclusively on your get out of jail free card, so you can yeet out of stressful situations. So feel free to explore the two and find which one is more enjoyable for you. I would like to mention that depending on the class engraving that you choose, the best in-slot stats change. Heightened Senses Sorcs should look for specialization and swiftness in order to focus on the gauge generation, whereas Dissonance players should look for crit and swiftness as they do not care as much about generating gauge. On the topic of engravings, some good recommendations for general ones are Sharp Dagger, Fast, and Grudge. Position-based engravings do not work with her as she does not have abilities that have that synergy, which actually gives the Sorc some more wiggle room so as not to get absolutely blasted by every freaking tail and or pass swipe in this goddamn game. Skill casting speed runes are always helpful as they allow you to yell a lot more, so they definitely get extra points in my book. They're a fantastic quality of life improvement for any variant of the Sorceress class that you decide to go with. So, there you have it. Put on a hat, pretend like you're Harry Potter in Hogwarts, and start checking some meteors, lightnings, and all kinds of elemental goop at your enemies. And don't forget to yell Disclaimer: I take no responsibility for anyone's action and will not be held responsible for any conflicts with the police or any mental institutions that the above recommendation could potentially cause. End of disclaimer. Thanks everyone for watching the second episode of these light guides as I called them. I had an absolute blast making this one as well and I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to like and subscribe if you liked what you saw and maybe, just maybe, The planets will align for me too. Anyways, the link to my Twitch channel is in the description, and I hope to catch you live sometime. Thanks again, I was Wes, and until next time, bye bye.